Welcome to this week's episode of College Code. I'm your host, Angela Luna. This week we're going to change things up a bit. We'll have a male guest who is Dom. How you doing, Dom?
Pretty good.
And then next segment we'll have a female guest, and this week we're going to talk about relationships and dating at college from a man and a woman's point of view. So, all right, Dom, well, we're going to do a little get to know you. So what year are you and what's your major?
I'm a sophomore and my major is currently graphic design.
Awesome.
Yep.
So how's it going with your classes and everything?
Pretty good. Pretty ready for summer.
Nice. Yeah, I feel ya.
Yeah.
I know finals coming up here soon, so.
Try not to think about it.
Yeah, no, trust me, I feel ya. So, well, have you had any dating stories or funny experiences?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. So, want to give some of those?
I'm trying to think of what I can say. Okay, I'm coming blank here. Sorry.
Well, you know, I don't know, so you're in a fraternity, right?
Yeah.
You said? So how's it going with that? You know, have you seen any, have you done any mixers with any sororities or?
Yeah, I have. One story that's pretty funny. Once I'm at a party, one of my friends was making out with this girl, and then he threw up and made out with her again. Ooh, it was kind of.
And she was still into it.
Yeah, it seemed so.
Well, was she in the right state of mind, or was she?
I don't think anyone was.
No, it happens. It happens.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, also with, have you happened to, do you think dating and stuff is different here in college, or kind of the same when it comes to high
definitely.
school? Or?
I feel like in college it's harder to just approach people in general, because in high school you could get away with just like shooting somebody a weird message on Facebook or like, hey, you're cute, what's up? But in college it's more like you have to actually confront people and speak with them, that sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah, so that's a bit more complicated to get into, I feel like.
So is it, when it comes to making a move to a girl, is it more nerve-wracking on a guy's point of view, or would you say like it when the girl makes the first move?
Personally, like, I think it's better if the girl makes the first move, because I feel like it could always be taken wrong, and I feel like guys are generally worse at picking up on signals than women are. So that could always become into an awkward situation or work out. I mean, whatever.
No, so if a girl does make the first move, it doesn't make them desperate?
I don't think so.
No. So where do you think is like the fine line of crossing it before it's desperation or?
I don't know, just hanging out. I mean, if you guys are hanging out and like cuddling, watching Netflix or something, I feel like that'd be an okay time, or that's a signal they could be like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So.
Gotcha. So do you have any favorite Netflix series you like to watch, or preference?
Definitely really into It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I've heard of that. I've been
Super
thinking
funny.
it's really funny, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen previews of it on Comedy Central and stuff before.
Yeah, season 1's kind of but then they bring Danny DeVito into the show in season 2, and that's pretty entertaining.
Everything. Gotcha. Well, back to our dating topic and stuff. Did you happen to have a relationship in high school at all, or?
Yeah, I actually dated this girl for a couple years, but she was a year older than me, and so she moved away, and then cheated on me, and
sorry.
yeah, so that was. But we ended up getting back together, and then breaking up again. So yeah, just kind of not that great.
Yeah, no, I feel you there. I had my freshman year of college. We broke up within about 2 weeks, and I went to college with just only 40 minutes away from him, because he said, if you don't go to my college, I don't think it's going to work out. But it was only 40 minutes away. And,
that's not bad.
Right, but same, cheated on me as well. And I was single for 3 years, and then it just kind of happened. I have a boyfriend now, so.
Yeah, I'm just kind of doing my own thing now.
Right, which you said you're a sophomore,
yeah.
Correct? Yeah, trust me, you have plenty of time.
I'm not
it's always
concerned.
when you least expect it is what I noticed. So.
Yeah, I feel like things like that just tend to happen naturally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you don't believe that, at first sight cliche?
Not really. I feel like a lot of people can be compatible with different people. Just it's a matter of if you find them at the right time, I think.
Yeah. Timing for sure, I think, is a big thing.
Because in college, your lives are going so many different ways. You might not even end up in the same state during summer break. Then you have different plans of where you want to end up. So it's just a lot to think about.
Right. Yeah. Have you maybe dated anyone at least in college, or kind of like talked to anyone?
I mean, I've talked to people a couple times. I dated a girl very briefly last semester, but she was really into her ex-boyfriend still.
Oh no.
Yeah, talked about that a lot.
Yeah, no.
So that's always weird and awkward.
Yeah, from a guy's point, like, how do you feel when knowing that they still kind of have that little attachment to an ex? Or?
This kind of makes me feel like it could end, and they could go back to them at any given time when they hear the right thing. So.
Yeah. So, you think when do you think is like a good time to start dating after a breakup, or?
Whenever you feel like it, because I mean, you can't really put a time on that or force it, because obviously you're going to be very devastated for a while. But I mean, 4 to 6 months probably.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to just kind of mope around and just miss out on stuff all the time.
Right,
so.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, Dom, for your input.
Yeah.
Now we're going to move up next to our next segment with Aaron on the girl's point of view. You want to stay tuned right here on College Code. Welcome back to College Code. Thanks for staying with us, guys. I'm Angela Luna, and this time we are going to talk about the girl's perspective of dating and relationships in college. And I have my guest, Erin, with me. How you doing?
Oh, I'm just fantastic.
Awesome, good. And then we'll start just a little get to know you. What's your major and how old are you?
I am 19 years old. I'm a sophomore.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a sophomore.
That's what it is.
And I'm a mass media major, and my emphasis is broadcast production.
Gotcha. We touched up a little bit on last week. If you guys are watching, you should be. So have you at all had any relationships or anything here in college?
When I first came to college, I had a relationship with a guy that actually I didn't go to college with. He lived like an hour away. And I was like, this is totally gonna work. But then I just started experiencing like parties and boys, and I was just like, yeah, I think I'm gonna try this whole like college thing and just kind of like focus on myself and like what I wanna do rather than like worrying about someone else.
Yeah. Now, do you think that's more of a trend? Obviously, you know, freshman, sophomore year. Do you think, you know, maybe junior, senior year, you'd maybe want to try to get a relationship, or are you kind of just, you know, going with the flow?
Honestly, like I'm the type of person that like relationships kind of freak me out. So if it's like I'm really going for it, I really have to like you. And so I think, I don't know, it's kind of iffy because I feel like freshmen, sophomores actually be more up for it because they're like, oh my gosh, like college, like I'm so grown up, oh my God. But like junior, senior, you're starting to realize that you're gonna graduate, and like when you graduate, you don't know where you're gonna end up. So you don't know like if it's gonna work out between you two. Like graduate school, getting a job, like it's basically like high school except like just a higher level of education.
Right, it's actually the real world, which
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me. That's really scary that I graduate next year.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Oh, no. It's exciting, but definitely very scary. Especially with media, you don't know where you're going to end up, you know. So, you know, have you, you know, there's been things with friends with benefits and, you know, which, I always tell people, you know, it's great, I think, if that's you do you. However, be careful. But, you know, we always preach so much about the physical and, you know, you always worry about getting pregnant or STDs, but they never really talk about the emotional factor of it. What do you think on your stance on those, or have you had a situation that way? Or?
Yes, actually. Friends with benefits is like something, it's like, it's okay. Like, honestly, you don't even have to be friends at first. If you just agree to like, this is what it is, like if, like you don't have to sign a contract, but if you just say like, this is what it is, like sex and like nothing else, like we're not gonna hang out or anything, like that's totally fine. But like eventually it gets kind of old when you just like go there and you leave. And it's like, so I don't know, like maybe I want someone to talk to, maybe I want someone to like cuddle with, like that stuff gets old. And honestly too, like in that type of perspective too, you honestly don't feel human. Like there are so many people that like, I understand like if you don't like someone, you don't like someone, but sometimes guys are just disrespectful toward girls, and I'm just like, I don't know, like I'm not really into you, but I still expect you to like treat me as a person.
Right, of course. Do you think more of the girls have a chance of getting hurt more than the guy? I mean, that is typical. Women just have that natural emotional nurturing factor, but what do you think when it comes to when a girl puts themselves out there? You know, should they, you know, I mean,
in
they
like
know
a
what they're
friends
getting
with benefits
into.
situation, or like in general?
Kind of in general. I mean, both ways, you know. I mean, obviously she has a motive, but do you think maybe she has a second motive of where she, you know, maybe I can change this guy when...
Yes, definitely.
You know.
Yes. Like, it could start out as like nothing, but it's like I feel like as you get like, because like sex is kind of like an intimate type of thing, so you think like, wow, like I really get to know this person, but really you didn't. And so you're trying to change that person. It's just like, it's just not something that you can do. Like that person is that person, you're your person. This isn't anything more than like what it is.
Of course, right.
So.
And I think we see a lot of that here at school, you know, I mean, it's also in the media. You see movies about it. It's almost.
And that's such a lie. Those
Right.
movies are lies.
Right, of course, you know,
Yeah.
I mean.
Like most of the time, it's like the like girl falls in love with the guy and then they like end up together. I'm like, that does not happen. Or like they like hang out before and then they like, or like they're friends and then they're like, let's decide this. I'm like, that doesn't happen. Like it usually doesn't end well. For some people it might, but most people it doesn't. At least not in my opinion, anyway.
Right. I always like to see that if, you know, if they're easy, you know, it's not worth it. But if it's almost, you know, man, I have to work hard and be with this person, I think, or what is your take on that?
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
You know, if someone who's easy, you know, it's not necessarily worth it. But if they're, you know, it's kind of like a chase, then it's worth.
I'm that type of person. It's like the less guys want me, the more I want them. Like the less attention they give me, I'm like, love me, just love me. Like,
And do you think
that's
it's more of,
me.
do you
Like,
think it's more of like a psychological thing
yeah,
too?
honestly, because it's like, yeah,
Gotcha. So, all right. Well, do you have any more little advice at all for anything before we?
friends with benefits are not a good idea. Don't go for it. Even if you think it's cool, it's not. You're probably gonna get hurt, but I mean, you do you. Take your own advice.
Gotcha. Well, thank you so much, Erin. And that wraps up for this episode of College Code. Stay tuned each week and watch us at 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday on KNWT Channel 8. I'm your host, Angela Luna, and have a great night.